And here's a hint what I'm taking home. This is probably part of the reason I got this IROC for the price of a used 305 engine. Somebody's cut a big hole back here trying to get to the fuel pump, butchered it up and made a freaking mess out of it. And since I'm going to have to cut that metal and shape it and weld it back in, I didn't want to do that on top of the gas tank, so I had no choice but to pull it. Alright, as you can see, changing the gas tank on a 3rd gen Camaro is not a lot of fun. Got to jack the body up as high as you can get it, drop all the rear suspension components, and then lower that rear as low as you can get it in order to have enough room to squeeze that tank up in there. A lot of work. Alright, here's inside the fuel tank of the IROC Z28. You can see it's lacquered up. It's also rusty as crap. And I'm seeing this white looking stuff right here. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like freaking sugar. Real granular. There you go. It's all over everything. I'm just wondering if somebody put the sugar in the fuel tank trick on this thing. Anyway, we're going to replace the fuel tank, which was a lot of fun to pull out. And I'll show you why I had to pull it out for sure anyway. And the fuel pump, which is a mess. Flush out all the lines and work our way up. Some more rust up there. Trash. Alright, the gasoline on the left is what came out of the IROC. Gasoline on the right is fresh gas. You can see the difference. And here's some of the junk that came out of the bottom of that tank. That's why the thing was leaking gas at the top. Stay off of that soon. Some kind of attaching something or other. I don't know what that is. Rust and trash and who knows what. Anyway, I was wondering about the gas thing and the gasoline, so here's what we're going to do. I always wondered. We're going to pour, the sugar in the gas tank trick. So we're going to dump some sugar in here, in the gas, see what happens. I don't know if it'll dissolve. Well, it's obviously not going to float. Went straight to the bottom. I'll stir it up. And it obviously does not dissolve. So we'll come back tomorrow, take another look at that and see what we have. It kind of looks like the crap that was in that gas tank. Looks an awful lot like it. Alright, sugar in the gas tank trick. Let's see what happens. Well, here we are 24 hours later, and it looks the same. Totally the same. No sticky, gummy, anything. No tarry, nothing. Sugar down in the bottom. Soft. I'm going to stir it up really quick here. Watch how fast it clears. It's heavy. It drops straight to the bottom of the tank. So the only thing that happens when somebody puts sugar in a tank, it appears to me, is you have solids down in the bottom. And if your pickup is above the level of those solids, it's not going to do anything. So there you go. Sugar in the gas tank trick for what it's worth. And this stuff settles fast. That's it, folks. I decided to switch to carburetor. I put a Nord light on the injectors and they work. This is getting a signal, but I'm not getting any fuel. So when I started troubleshooting and I found the problems with the gas tank and the fuel line and everything else, just decided to go back with a carburetor. So I bought a new gas tank, new pickup assembly with a sending unit. I'm going to modify this and we'll set it up for the carburetor. Try to get that on this weekend. I've got a couple of days off. I get to play in the shop. I'm eliminating the internal electric fuel pump, and this is the normal pickup that goes with the electric pump. I'm going to put an external fuel pump on there. I've got some special hose. This hose is $18 for 12 inches, but it's submersible. It's special submersible hose. You can't use regular 3/8 fuel line. It won't last very long. So I did an internet search and I found this at O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's submersible, like I say, about $18 for 12 inches. Now the problem is the pickup, the screen, there's no way of connecting the hose to the screen, obviously. So I did a little more research and found this. FS38, FS38. And it's got a 3/8 fitting on it, which go with my 3/8 hose, and now I have a screen for the new system. Well, I got the gas tank in. It wasn't a fun job, but it actually fits really nice. And I was pretty happy. Pretty happy until I stepped around and checked the filler neck. Not too happy now. Let's show you what I got. As you can see, it doesn't fit. It's off. It's way off. It's off about 3 inches. When I read the reviews, a lot of people said that that was the case, and they ended up having to torch and bend and everything to the filler neck to get it to fit. And then others said they fits good, but I wasn't one of the lucky ones. I can barely get the gas cap on there, and I can't get the door. You can see how far off it is. About 3 inches. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do on this. Not fun. Here's the intake I bought from my buddies at Summit. And I'm going to put about a 600, 650 square bore Holley on it. A carburetor of some kind. This is the sludge that came out of it. Just a little bit of the sludge came out of that intake. They didn't take very good care of it, but hopefully I'll get it running. I can only imagine what the oil pan looks like. And got it cleaned up here. We'll get the intake and carburetor on, and hopefully with a long weekend have this thing running in 1 or 2 more days.
Hey, well, you promised that you were going to get it started today. Is that going to happen or not?
Yeah, that's going to happen today.
Really?
They bring everybody up to speed because we shot this video in bits and pieces, and over what, the last month or more, just 10 minutes, 10 seconds here, 10 seconds there. I did away with the TBI system. I put a Nord light on it. It was signaling, but everything else was screwed up on it. I started adding up the dollars, and I figured it's easier to just switch over to carburetor. So I bought an intake carburetor. I rigged up the throttle pressure linkage, accelerator pressure linkage. Went ahead and put a new alternator while I was on here because it was squealing really bad. First I had this rigged up. I made all this, and then I found something on Summit that made it easier for me, so I went and pulled all this back off, and that's the Summit deal. Anyway, I've got it statically timed. I have 6 pounds. I have oil. I may have fuel right here in the float bowls. I have it statically timed. I have spark, so I should be able to hit the switch and it hit start right off.
Well, I'm a little bit nervous about it because I just am.
I'm not nervous.
You're not nervous?
I'm not nervous at all. Every time I've ever rebuilt an engine in my life, when I get ready to start it, I hit the switch, it'll start immediately. You know, a couple of seconds. No. Now the exhaust manifolds and everything are loose. I've got a bunch of exhaust leaks, but I should hit that switch.
Well, we're gonna see.
And it should start.
Oh, you ready now?
Right now.
Oh,
It should start within seconds.
Oh, well then let's see what you're made out of, buddy. Well, we're gonna see. Thought he was just kidding, but I guess he's serious.
Fire in the hole.
Yeah. Well, I'll be dog. It did start.
I told you.
First time. I thought you were just kidding when you said you were really going to start it up.
I told you, if you have it statically timed, you have fuel at the carburetor, you have everything right, you get the switch is supposed to go, and that's what it does.
Ooh.
All right, I'm going to let the hood down, just lower it. I have a temporary gas tank hooked up on it right this minute. I'm just going to drive it down the street and back just to check out the transmission. And
do you need to take the fire extinguisher or anything like that?
I don't know, you just stand by and we'll see what happens. I'm just going to lower it slightly because I don't even know how much hood clearance I have at this point. So, all right, let's see what happens.
Well, come back in one piece, please.
It'll move. That's the first time it's been started and the first time it's moved in over 3 years.
In over 3 years. Well, you sure have worked hard on it. I know that much.
All right, let's see what happens.
Master mechanic. Really has worked hard on this. Whoever had it before him sure didn't know what he was doing.
Well, I got reversing forward anyway.
Here he comes. He made it back. So far, so good. Coming up a bit. That's a problem with leaves, and everything spins on these leaves. All cars spin on these leaves. Well, you made it back.
All right, it runs.
I know.
Got to adjust the throttle pressure linkage on it.
Yep.
Kind of spinning on those leaves.
Leaves, I know. My car spins on it.
It runs.
Voila.
Sounds like the U-joint's ready to fall out. The drive shaft's ready to fall out.
Really?
Maybe a little front suspension work.
So the work never ends, does
Work
it?
never ends. At least we have an IROC and it's running.
I
Another
know.
project car at least running.
Finally it's running.
All right. I'm a happy man.
Well, I am too. I'm a happy woman.
All right.
Mr. IROC.